All right, welcome everybody. It's Wednesday, July 8th, 6:30 p.m. Actually, 6:31 p.m. I'm going to call this meeting to order. If Madam Secretary do a roll call. Here. Okay. Wasn't Dave going to Zoom in or something? He didn't send no link. Log on to email. Says it, last I got him, I sent out 2 links to Zoom meeting, but I haven't got nothing. Right, but I have nothing. She's going to check junk mail. All right, so while we're waiting on that, let's pledge our flag and have a moment of silence, please. All right, so we pledge the flag. Item 3 is motion to approve. This is not a special meeting. So we'll scratch a meeting. This is regular session. Oh, no, that's minutes from last meeting. I'm sorry. Okay. So everybody got a copy of the minutes from last month? Good with that? So I need a motion to approve them. I also move. Second. Okay, second by Brooke. And we're moving on, sort of, waiting on Dave here. We get the preliminaries out of the way. Log on what, Zoom? But he's got to send us a link, right? Stand by, folks. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. Had some rough weather here since the last meeting. I hope everybody fared through it fairly good. Todd probably got his work out. Yeah. All right, here we got something coming in. You and Ashley check email for a Zoom link. Yeah, there's no link attached. And he's got Chad involved, so that's good. Stand by, folks. Trouble's not in your set. All right, so I do have Zoom. Well, it's sign in like I know my account number. Yeah, I need a meeting ID is what I need from you. All right, so motion to approve. Any more discussion on that? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any like sign? Against? Okay. We want to move forward here. Waiting on Dave. Let's move forward. This is boilerplate stuff anyway. All right, motion to addend and approve the agenda for the meeting tonight. I'd like to addend it. We have the SPGE, which is a special government entity program, and I handed out to everybody a budget for next year that we have to submit, and as you can see, I'd like to amend the budget that we vote on that in new business, I guess. We can add that to new business. Need a motion on that? All right. Any more addendums to the agenda? Okay. Okay.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed, like sign? Okay. I'm sorry. Did you make a run or something on us? Because it is work. All right, move on then. Under number 5, order of business, presentation treasurer's report.
I think I passed that out to everybody. There was one deposit since our last meeting of 100, or sorry, $127,151.25. Then our expenses were the contract partnership with the state garbage, which has gone up just slightly for the contract for July. $111,000, 583. Sorry, $111,583.33.
And that's,
We had our legal plus back in February. I don't know how you can get that. Sorry. And then our registration fee with the SCBC for a total of $112,270.83, bringing the overall total positive $14,880.42.
okay. So in keeping with the contract, for just everybody up to speed, we did go up 3% from July, the remaining year of our contract. That's where the increase comes from. Motion to approve the treasurer's report. That 250 is that SPGA or SPGE. I'm sorry, annual charges for, and I paid that, and she's reimbursing me, just so everybody knows. Yeah, and it wasn't 500, it was 250. It prorated out, so it was 250 once I finalized it. So. And it covers us to next year, which will probably be 500, because it goes by your income, and once you hit over millions. Okay. So just make everybody aware of how that works. All right, motion to approve the report. I'll second it. I'll second the motion. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, like sign? Motion passes. You still have nothing on, Dave, on your email? Tell him I have nothing. Is he talking to you? So as we move on down, old business is a follow-up with Dave. She's got something here. I don't know. Everybody see that's Dave. Speak, Dave. Y'all hear? Y'all hear him all right?
We got them on.
We got him on. Is that working?
If I put this is what I'm getting. You can hear that? I'm flicking.
Test 1, 2. Yeah, you gotta get right on these things. Okay. Sorry about that, Dave.
I doubt these ever get cleaned. I'm not going to do that.
We're all family here. All right, Dave, we've moved down through the agenda already, through the approval of the treasurer's report, last month's meeting, all the boilerplate stuff at the beginning. So now we're down to old business, and the first one is follow up with Dave. So, you got anything to bring us up to speed?
I don't have anything.
Did you hear that? Yeah, I got it right against here. He won't get no germs on it. All right, so you have nothing for us this month?
Nothing.
Okay. All right, line item C then, new business. So we're doing new business number one, and the SPGE is requiring our budget for next year. And I've emailed it out to everybody, and I've got copies here if anybody wants to see it. And basically all it is pretty clean budget. We don't have a lot. We got our bills to Dry Ridge every month, insurances, some operational fee money, attorney fees, that type thing. We don't have a lot of line items. So that's in our income. So I've got all that. And now the income's still budgeted on the projected, what the county tax said we would get projected this year. So last year was pretty close. So I don't see it being far off again this year. Okay. So if everybody approves of that, I need a motion to approve and accept that budget.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Brooke.
Second.
Second by Dave. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, moving on down. Number 6, address from the City of Dry Ridge. Section 5.0 of the interlocal agreement, general service update.
All right. First page is the June report. Just doing your breakdown of the runs for the month of June. 249 EMS calls. Kind of just give you a breakdown. What districts were responded to. And those are based off the taxing districts. The second page is the breakdown of the vehicles and the maintenance of the state of the vehicles. In looking at the vehicles on the EC2, 3, and 4, total miles put on the vehicles was 6,810 for the month of June. Total maintenance cost was $3,914. However, I will put a little disclaimer on that. Last week, EC4, we blew the motor up in it. So we're looking at probably around about $30,000 or so to replace the motor in that vehicle. We went ahead and did an emergency purchase for the motor of that vehicle to get it back online. Should hopefully have it back online within the next 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the availability of parts. So with that, the total maintenance for the fiscal year of 26 was $109,993 total for maintenance for all the vehicles. That does not include, obviously, the motor that we're going to have to put in EC4. Some maintenance that we did on those vehicles, EC3, which is the newer vehicle, we did have a warranty repairs. It's some stuff that was covered, some things that weren't covered under warranty. With that, we also put a set of tires on that truck as well. We had found that some of the tires on them were dry rotting. I guess from where it sat when they built it, the chassis sat for a little bit before they built the box. We had a blowout on that truck, so we just, for safety precaution, we went ahead and just replaced all 6 tires on it, just because we did find some dry rot in those tires. Moving on, the next page is the responses. Response times gives you a breakdown of the response times per district. Those are also based off the taxing districts. Shows our average on-scene times and transport times. Nothing major to report there. Still showing that we're performing very, very well. Getting in route from the time of dispatch is under a minute, so that's pretty remarkable. On-scene times, as you can see, Corinth city limits almost about 11 minutes. Crittenden city limits right around 6 minutes. Dry Ridge city limits around 3 minutes. Williamstown city limits right around 5 minutes on average. The last section there is the base breakdown for the revenue. Switch over to page 3 there. That's kind of the breakdown for June, and then what we're looking at currently for the fiscal year. Like I always say, disclaimer, when it comes to revenue, it takes time for that to trickle in. We have probably not seen all the revenue for billing purposes for June yet. I mean, that takes time over as the billing cycles go. So those numbers will improve as we go, especially when they start auditing the books and making sure all the numbers are pointed where they should be. But for that, the brief overlook so far for revenue recovered by Medi-Count for the year was $827,130.20. Now that reminds you that does not reflect what we pay them. We pay them 6.25 of that, so that would be minus. That would be our take home after that. And it breaks down. We're collection rate right around 88%, averaging about $374 per transport is what we're collecting. Our ALS percent, you can see we're still billing out close to 73% on our ALS rate, which is pretty standard, pretty typical for our service. Any questions on the revenue side or anything that I have presented? You guys.
Yeah, I got one.
Uh-huh.
So the 827 for the year is not actual?
No, that is what the revenue, that's what Medi-Count has collected, and then we take the 6.25% off of that, we pay them. So the actual amount will be reflected in our revenues and expenditures report that we'll give to you next month once the books are closed and we have the actual number. So basically, if you want to go off of it, just minus 6.25% off of that.
6% off the 800.
We'll give you that total number.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions on that? So just so kind of some updates from when we talked from last month. Still waiting on the final approval with the state for our critical care program. I talked to Mr. Sloan about 2 weeks ago. The director came in, said everything looks great on that aspect. We just have to wait for the next board meeting, which is coming up in 3 weeks. They'll do a final vote to approve my protocols and our policies. I don't see any hiccups with that, so hopefully once we get that approved, we can go ahead and start launching that program. I know the girls are very eager to get that program up and going and start utilizing the training that we paid them to go out and receive. So hopefully that'll be knocking it out here real soon. Some other things I'd like to just kind of maybe get a little bit of feedback from the board. Obviously, as we could see that our maintenance cost is pretty high. We went pretty significantly over budget. Our trucks are getting a little bit older, a little higher mileage on them. I would like to see if maybe the board would kind of entertain the idea of doing what we do on AC3, where I could talk back to the city, maybe present the city to purchasing another vehicle, replacing one of the older vehicles, with the board agreeing to, if the services get turned over to them, continue to pick up that debt surplus on that vehicle. Kind of very similar to what we did for EC3. That can hopefully start upgrading and updating our fleet, so we can try to keep some of that maintenance cost down. With that, I did went ahead and just kind of give you an idea of what I've been looking at and give you some kind of costs that are out there for those ambulances. To buy new, I've got 2 of them that are sitting on the lot right now. You're looking the cheapest one sitting on the lot for the comparable type ambulances that we're driving now runs around $308,000. That's new. I can go with a refurbished remount ambulance. Is what typically that's what we bought off the current truck EC3, which is a refurbished box with a new chassis. I can get one of those right now for about $235,000 ish, depending on where we get it through, who we get it through. But they're all right around $230,000, $240,000 to go that route. So with that, I would try to get a little bit of feedback from you. Would it be worth my time to go bring this back up to the city with the board entertain that type of deal that we did before to start getting this fleet upgraded?
So this is you talking, not the city?
What's that?
This is you talking, not the city?
This is me talking. I was going to present a plan to the city, but I didn't want to present the same because I already pretty much get my opinion what the city is going to say. Well, let's wait if we can work out the same deal that we did on EC3. So therefore, my thought process, if I'm going to go to them, I like to have my ducks in a row saying, hey, I've talked with the board. They seem like they would be very interested in moving that forward. Then I can get the opinion back on the board, but I don't want to come back to you and says, yes, the city's going to do it, and then come back to you then with, I'd like to have an answer from the city before I come back to you with it. So, but if I pretty much can almost rest assured, and I can't speak for the city, that they're not going to do something until we know the board has an idea, just like the other truck was done. EC1 is our reserve truck. It's currently on the road right now. That's taking place for EC4. It's broke down. So we use that truck anytime we break a truck down for maintenance, basically. Yes. And that truck's got some older miles, and that'd be the current truck that I'm looking to replace, is that EC1. Yes, EC4 is a newer truck. The only reason why we went ahead and agreed to do the motor and want to do the motor is that's already got a new transmission in it. It's already got a new AC unit in it. A lot of those components have already been refurbished and already put into that truck. So putting that motor in that truck is going to buy a lot more lifetime, I believe, out of that. For sure. Versus EC1 is already on its second motor. That is the second motor we put in that truck, and I could tell you the shape that it's in, it's probably going to need to be replaced in the very near future. It really was a throwaway truck. It's a smaller van truck with a smaller box on it. They just don't last as long as the bigger, heavier trucks. That's why we buy the F450s, 550s, because you can get a very long longevity out of them. Versus the smaller van ambulances, they may be a little bit cheaper, but you don't get any longevity with them, and they eat up your maintenance like crazy because they always get tires, they always get brakes because they're light trucks. So that is why I'd like to try to get that truck and go ahead and just get it replaced. And then it gives us 4 good working trucks so we can try to keep on a good rotation to keep the miles and wear and tear down on all 4 of them.
Comments?
What's that?
This is essentially the same
Yeah,
conversation we had
exactly.
before.
Yeah, the same thing
You
we
guys
worked
wanted
out
to
with
buy
the
a
first
truck,
truck.
but want to make sure that we financially back it.
Correct.
Part of my thought is if ambulances are such commodity, it would be easy for you to return on investment if you made the purchase. So you're not going to be stuck with something if you guys made the purchase to cover what you needed to. Or,
Correct.
So if you guys did buy an ambulance and you didn't back it, you could turn around and sell it just as easily.
Potentially, yes. But I think just trying to work just collaboratively, and we're all just kind of working on the same page and just trying to get, be on the same dialogue, basically, because that's just my point of view of it. I agree the city will have to do what they have to do to meet their obligations, and they'll do what they do to meet their obligations. But I'm just trying to look out for longevity of the whole service as a whole. And then, depending on what the future goes, how that goes. I can't speak on behalf of you or the city. I don't know what direction that goes. I'm just trying to look forward to what I can do now and then what we're going to do in the future.
Did y'all have indicators that the engine was going to be the next thing to go on it, or
What's that? I'm hard.
Did you have any indicators that the engine was the next thing to go? I know you said that there was maintenance and whatnot, but What date did that happen?
My ultimate goal, honestly, was to drive that truck down to a refurbished company and let them remount that box and refurbish it on a new chassis was my big goal. And then with the motor going, now it's kind of just changed my whole gears of how I was going to do things.
What date did
I
that
was
happen?
hoping we get more time out of it, but basically what happened was the timing chain broke on the motor and spun the crankshaft. It's something that's completely unavoidable that you'll never see in preventive maintenance because you don't see a timing chain when you look at stuff. So that's pretty much what happened with the motor.
What date did that happen, Tiny? Do you
What
know?
what?
What date did that happen?
I have to go back and look. It was last Thursday is when it happened, on the second, July 2nd.
Well, my comment is in the contract, we have the right to purchase anything
Yep.
down the road.
Yep.
And I'll stick with that. If it's in fair shape and the market value, we'll consider purchasing it.
Yep.
Going into anything today, I'll not do that.
No, we do not have a full board present.
And we don't have full board present for that. And I've not got into anybody's business. I mean, it's your all's finances and your all's budget. Got the mayor and the city administrator back there.
Mm-hmm.
But you bought a brand new one. We're paying $40,000 a year on, correct?
Yep.
But you got one unit you spent $42,000 on maintenance, and you got another unit you spent $31,000. You're real close to just why spend that kind of money
No,
on that age of truck.
I mean,
Now the one you spent $31,000, you spend another $30,000 on it. So now you're up to 60-something thousand on a 8-9-year-old truck.
Yep. Nope, I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, granted, even if you buy them new, there's still going to be some maintenance costs with them.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I don't disagree with that. And I think, like I said on the last meeting, was a lot of that is they don't. I don't know that I can't speak for them, but if I were sitting in their shoes, if we don't know what the future is going to hold, I'm not going to throw a lot of money down on something that I may not get back in return because used trucks do not sell very well in this industry. They just don't. You know, I looked the other day. Crescent Spring has got one advertised that's 7 years old, and they're trying to get $80,000 out of it. You know, they just don't hold a value to them. Versus once you take them off a lot, just like a camper or anything else, they have an automatic attrition right off of them.
Yeah, but you're talking a year or two old truck.
Huh?
You're talking a truck would be a year or two old.
True.
And possibly just taking over the payments like we would be doing on there.
Exactly. Yep.
A bunch of people would jump all over that. You see what I'm saying? If you made two payments and you've paid $80,000 on it or
I
something,
don't disagree with you one bit.
there's a lot of cities would jump all over that for a backup unit, or even some places as a primary unit.
Wouldn't disagree to that one.
You know, so you just put it out that, you know, I'm just saying, it appears to me we're swapping money there. Anyway, bottom line is it's in the contract that, you know, we have the opportunity to buy and at current value and stuff a year from now. And that's my opinion. If you want to buy a truck, go for it. If you don't, well, you got a 3% raise. That's $39,000 starting this month, right, for a year. So.
Alrighty. Well, I appreciate it. Is there any other questions for me?
I have none. Dave, you got anything?
No.
No? Dave said no.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Thank you.
One more question. Yeah, just curious. I've been looking over all your reports and stuff. But EC1, you get no engine hours, but yet it gets mileage.
Engine hours and how we get mileage off of it?
Well, EC1 went 585 miles last month, but there's no engine hours. And that's been for the last few months.
I'm seeing EC1 shows 0 and 0.
On engine hours.
Mm-hmm.
And the block above that for the total miles.
I get what you're saying. It says 0 on it because that one does not track engine hours on it. That truck doesn't have the ability, when you go flow through them, it does not have the ability to see the engine hours on it. The other trucks, the other three do.
Okay. Well, that answered my question.
Sorry.
Answered my question. Thank you for the report. All right, number 7. Any more discussion on that? Everybody be good with that? All right, number 7, citizen's address. Going once, Going twice. 3 times. All right. Number 8, board members' address. Dave, we'll start with you. You got anything?
No, I don't. I'm good.
All right, Dave has nothing. Brooke?
I don't have anything.
No. Ashley?
Not at this time, sir.
No. Chad's absent. The only thing I report is we're current and up to date with SPGE. We paid the bill. Brooke furnished me the actuals for last year, and I uploaded them, and that made us current there on our actual expenditures, incomes. And when I get home tonight, I'll enter this budget, and well, I've actually got already entered. All I got to do is hit submit, and it'll be good to go. And so that's all I want to add to it. That's all I got. SPG, special government entity. And for those that don't know, it's for tax districts and not cities, counties, things like that. And you can go there as a guest and look at anybody's records and all anything concerning any uploads that we've done, documents, things like that. So it's all available to the general public. Okay. And it's more than SPGE. It's dot something other. Not something other, you know what I mean. Yeah, BLK, League of Kentucky League or something. All right, so let's move on. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Brooke moved to adjourn. I'll second that. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Dave? Aye. Dave's aye.
Huh?
Yeah. All right, so the next meeting is scheduled for 8/12/26. Dave, how's your calendar look that day? Is that a shift day?
I believe it is. Hold on, sorry.
Your wife says it's not, so
It's not. Yeah, I'm on vacation that day.
well, you can be here then, right?
Well,
Anyway, I'll be out of town on the 12th, so I won't be here. So be enough for a
I'll be
quorum.
I will be out of town.
You, well, we'll check with Chad. If not, we'll do something. All right, so that's it for tonight, folks. Thanks y'all for coming. Everybody stay safe going home. We did get a 100% vote on that, right? Adjourn. So we're good, Dave. Have a good, safe night down there.
All right.
Keep
See you later.
keep the trucks inside. If you have to get them out, keep them between the curbs. Shiny side up.
We're gonna try.
All right.
Thank you.
Later.